bill. Yeah. How many of you are new to this? Yeah. You know what that represents? United States Congress, did you see what these people just said to you? They said, we're here. We have Democrats among us. We have independents among us. We have libertarians. We have conservatives. We have Republicans. We have people who aren't political. Because what are we? We are reasonable, fair-minded people who are saying, get your act together, be practical, be principled, be reform-minded, and do these three things. Don't tax us anymore. We're taxed enough already. The second thing we want them to know, don't spend more money than what you're taking in. The third thing that we want them to know, act within the limits that the Constitution put on you. Gee, that's a radical, scary, extremist agenda. I think that's called reasonable, fair-minded Americans who have re-embraced the spirit of 1776. That's why we're here today, because we know that the government can't continue with $1.65 trillion deficits and think that they can be in business very long. Now, I told you when I started, before the microphone turned off, that I am 55 years old today, and I want you also to know that I really am the old woman that lives in the shoe. My husband and I will celebrate our 33rd wedding anniversary this year. And we have 5 biological children, and we've been privileged to raise 23 foster children in our home.
Way to go.
So let me tell you, that's a lot of pasta for 28 kids over the years. And one thing we know how to do is stretch a dollar in our house. Are any of you know how to do that? In our family, we
not me
clip
personally.
coupons. We go to consignment stores. We do whatever it takes to make the family work and run. And sometimes that means that we've got to cut our spending in the family. Especially because, consider this, the day before President Obama took office, the price of gasoline was $1.83 a gallon. It has more than doubled under his watch. Now let me ask you, if we were issuing a report card right now to President Obama on energy policy, how many of you would vote for an A? How many of you would vote for an F? How many of you think that when President Obama went to Brazil and he told the Brazilians that they need to get aggressive about drilling for oil in Brazil so that we can become Brazil's best customers, and then he went on to give Brazil a $2 billion loan with your money so that Brazil can drill for more oil? How many of you think the president should have said, drill, baby, drill in America rather than We have the answer to our solutions right here in the United States. Do you know that this year, that's right, drill, baby, drill. Let me tell you this, this is great news. This year, the Congressional Research Service issued a report that again says the United States is the #1 nation in the world with energy reserves. If you take all of America's source of energy and you convert it to barrels of oil equivalent, we are #1 in the world. That's great news. We have more energy in the United States than China, Canada, and Saudi Arabia combined. That doesn't even include our shale oil deposits. We have the answer to our solution right here in the United States. That's just one small area. And yet, the Brain Trust over here has decided they know more than you do, like in the area of what light bulb you should put in your house. Now let me ask you, do you need their help when you go seem to be very well-tempered and very well-mannered. I want to hang with you. That's right. You're the extremists that I like to hang with. Put it that way. We know that we're coming to a decision at the end of this week. We also know that Harry Reid has a plan, Chuck Schumer has a plan, Howard Dean has a plan, and it appears that the President of the United States has a plan, and it appears that they've decided that they're going to take both feet and be stuck in the mud and not negotiate one tiddlywink, because their goal, as they've already stated, is to shut the government down. That's their stated goal, and you know what they want to do? They want to blame it on you. They want to say that it's your fault. We need to make one thing perfectly clear today. We want to be perfectly clear. There is no such thing as an actual government shutdown. There isn't, because we know that Social Security checks will continue to go out, the military will continue to go forward, and we also know that there will be a very large number of government employees that will stay on the job. Some will be furloughed, but they will stay on the job. So let's just be clear, first of all, it is a government slowdown. There is no such thing as a shutdown. So let's be clear about that first. Let's also be clear that this game cannot continue to go forward. Where, like last week, they borrowed $99 billion, according to the Federal Times. That can't go on. Let me just give you one picture of what America's future could look like in the not-too-distant future. Last night, the country of Portugal had to borrow money to run their government for another 6 months. They had to borrow money at over 5% rate of interest. That's 35 times more than what the United States pays to borrow. Why do I tell you that? Because when you have such huge debt and such huge entitlement obligations that it's virtually impossible to pay them, then your borrowers extract a very high price. If that happens to the United States, where we literally today borrow 40 to 41 cents of every dollar that we spend, we're in trouble real fast. Real fast. And so we know what we have to do.